Hello, everybody. I'm sorry, I thought you were doing the intro. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rounding Third, hosted on the Triple Threat YouTube channel. My name is Jeremy Lapidus, host of this Rounding Third show, joined as always by my buddy and co-host
Haden Raymer.
Haden Raymer is here. We are going to talk to you about so many baseball things that are happening. It's so exciting. I can't wait to get into the stuff today. Um, Haden, what
Jeremy,
do you want to talk about?
listen. News came out today. I think it was today. Uh, and it's important. We gotta honor the people, who've played in this sport and are retiring. And of course, I'm talking about the one, the only Lorenzo Cain. Uh, had an absolutely amazing career. One of the best center fielders of that generation. You're talking about a guy who, he's got his ring. Uh, he's just with the Royals back in 2015. Was with the Brewers. You know, obviously, kind of the end of his career was a little bit of but two-time All-Star. Won a Gold Glove the year Victor Robles was like incredible in center field, and I'm still mad about that. Uh, but Lorenzo Cain is just legendary player. So it's a shock that he only has one Gold Glove. But that sometimes this happens to players, and I'm very happy for him. I hope he enjoys retirement. After a 13-year career, guy had, I'm looking, he had 1,200 hits. Like
Not
he's
bad.
not a Hall of Famer, but he was really good for a little bit. You know, baseball needs that.
I'm shocked he has a negative WAR. Like, I know it's point .2 negative, but I'm shocked he's not in the positives.
That's for last season.
That's just for last season. You're right. I'm bad at reading.
It's
He's at 38.
38.4.
Yep, there we
Baseball
go.
Reference
That
score.
makes a lot more sense to me.
Like it's a really good career. Like
Right, yeah, yeah, I know. I was looking at that, and everything else was like, that's pretty good, but
yeah, no. Just a light hitting center fielder who, he had some years where, he had 800 OPS in like 3 seasons or 4 seasons and was in the high sevens, a bunch of others. Like, man could hit. I hope he enjoys
yeah,
retirement. He's got like 3 kids. Spend some time with your family. Happy for him.
yeah, congratulations, Lorenzo Cain. Um,
Snaps for
yeah,
Kane. Yeah.
snaps.
Snaps. 2 people getting snaps today. That's wow.
Dude, that's like a new world record.
I think it's a record for us. Most snaps in a given day. Us handing out of them. Anyways, you want to talk about? Injuries. Spring training.
Dude,
When do they not happen? It feels like every year someone gets hurt.
it always happens, and it sucks. It does, because these games don't count. It happens in every sport. Every time there's like a spring training or a preseason, there's always that one big injury that happens, and then everyone's like, "Oh, we should cancel the entire thing."
Yeah.
And
Just turn injuries off. Like,
right, honestly, they should just do that.
they should hire me in the front offices. Now, there's 2 big injuries we're going to talk about today. One is Colorado's Brendan Rodgers, second baseman, former top prospect. Isn't like a superstar, but he's a solid big leaguer. And for a Rockies team that is trying to contend.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Hayden,
They're trying to. For a
they're
Rockies team
not.
that's trying to contend, that's a big blow.
They're not seriously contending.
Let me finish my sentence.
No,
And
it's
then
wrong.
on another team out west, also, middle infielder Gavin Lux, finally, after what feels like an eon of trying to win that shortstop position. First it was Corey Seager, then it was Trey Turner. Finally, is his year, and he had this really brutal looking injury. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, I
It
saw
was
it.
gross. Injuries are gross. I don't like watching sports injuries. Those are no, or injuries in general. That's just not my thing. Anyways, uh, hope speedy recovery to those two. But we're not here to talk about the recovery process. We're here to talk about that effect on those teams. So which team would you like to start with, Mr. Jeremy? The Dodgers or the Rockies? Which contender?
Well, I'm going to start with Gavin Lux because
Yeah.
you touched on it a little bit, but I feel bad for this dude. He's
Yeah.
been a solid major leaguer for a couple, like 5 years at this point,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. And he could just never get that spot. There's always someone ahead of him in the depth chart, and it stinks to see this happen to him. Uh, Now the Dodgers at shortstop, they'll find somebody. The Dodgers are deep, but God, it sucks, man. I think this might affect them a lot. I don't know who's gonna replace Gavin Lux there.
Well, fortunately for the Dodgers, a little while ago before the injury, they traded for kind of the guy who was kind of the face of the Marlins through that kind of rocky rebuild, and that was former and now current Dodger Miguel Rojas, who's the everyday shortstop for the Marlins. Great glove. He's not going to win you a Gold Glove, but he's going to be put up above average defense. Plus defense, and he was a Nats killer. But he was just solid offensive player. Kind of does everything at average or above average. And he's a great clubhouse guy, great guy, like interview, great like just listening to him. He's a good leader. And, he kind of brings that to a team that has a lot of leadership already. But he just slides in pretty comfortably at shortstop. It's just they have a really old lineup now, Jeremy.
Yeah, but they're fine. It's the Dodgers. They're fine.
Like Fangraphs projections, obviously not the gospel on what's going to be, especially this early in the season. But you have two players in the starting lineup who are under the age of 30. Miguel Vargas, who famously can't swing a bat right now in spring training and is just still playing in spring training games. He's slated to play at second base, which, he's a really good player. Fangraphs has him as the 48th overall prospect. Just great ball player. But it's, he's still a prospect, so we don't really know. He's not a sure thing, if that makes sense.
Right.
Right. And then you have Will Smith, who's like a top 5 catcher in baseball. But other than that, you got Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy, JD Martinez, David Peralta, Miguel Rojas, and Trace Thompson. They're all over the age of 30. Which that's not necessarily a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing because those are like, it's not like a situation with the Nationals where they have some older players who aren't bona fide stars. Freddie Freeman, superstar in this league.
He's alright.
And Mookie Betts, superstar in this league.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. Mookie Betts is really good at baseball. That guy. Oh.
What happened?
Oh no, I'm just saying. Oh, like that guy. Oh man, he's good.
They'll be fine. It's not always a bad thing to have an older team. It just means that your window is coming due.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dodgers, they'll pay somebody else. They'll be fine.
Yeah, no, I mean I think the thing that's really interesting is like, this Dodgers team. It's weird, and it's not like, I don't know. I feel like we've been spoiled past 5 years or so. Because, like, this Dodgers team isn't, like, the Dodgers,
Especially last year, man. That team was...
It's unfair. And they're just not really the Dodgers anymore. Still very, very good.
Just because they're not the Dodgers.
They're not winning 111 games. Instead, they're going to win 90.
Right, they went from having arguably the best lineup in the history of the MLB last season to having, that lineup's got, like, really, really good guys up to 5.
Yeah, I
Maybe
mean,
even
like,
deeper.
it's not fair. And then like it's like, oh, then it's just not fair, man. It's just this Dodgers team is like they shouldn't be the Dodgers, man. I don't know, man. Dodgers not fair. They've just Chris Taylor on the bench,
I
like
love
okay,
Chris Taylor so much.
Chris Taylor's really good. Jason Hayward is trying to win a roster spot from him. Uh, I mean, I'm trying to look who even they got. A really good like kind of second, third baseman corner outfielder, and Michael Bush who could be ready soon. James Outman is kind of the guy who's fighting for a spot with Hayward on like who's gonna be the opening day guy, and then they have like 3 young starters who are all like really good, who are about to like not even in the big leagues yet, who are just ready for if Kershaw, Urias, Gonsolin, Syndergaard, or May get like hurt. Like it's not fair.
No, it's not. You're right.
Dodgers aren't fair. I think any other team, Gavin Lux's injury breaks your season. But we're talking about the Dodgers. And for the lack of, they're just really good. And it's just, you're not going to, like, even losing a guy who could be a superstar in Gavin Lux. And you're fine. You're just like, okay, I mean, like, yeah, it sucks, but it'll be fine. Like, even losing Gavin Lux, I still think they're at least a 91 team.
Yeah, when you have a team like that, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
I think Gavin Lux, you mentioned the age. I think missing him is gonna be huge. Like, that'll take them from a 95 win team to, a 90 or 85 win team.
I don't think he's that impactful.
I think he was gonna have a breakout year, Haden.
I do too, but I think you're talking about I think with a breakout year, it's like, okay, they're a 100 win team. I think realistically, at most you lose 1 or 2 more games. I think you are underrating Miguel Rojas. I think is what
I definitely
it is.
am. I'm not that high on Miguel Rojas.
Miguel Rojas,
he's good.
He's
I know
good.
He's good.
I know
he's good, but
shortstop is stacked like as a position in baseball. And I mean, just having a guy like Miguel Rojas just there, it's not like you're going from Gavin Lux to like some kind of unproven guy or some like veteran who was barely, this is his shot to stay in the league. You got like a guy who's like good, like he's a top 15 at least, shortstop. It's just shortstop's a stacked position, but he's a really good ball player.
Yeah. I agree. He's a little older, and he doesn't have the bat, so he'll be fine. I'm saying all this, but they'll be fine.
I mean, let me look. Maybe I'm misremembering his year last year. Yeah, I mean, he's not an elite hitter, but I mean, it's not a black hole offensively either, though. Is kind of the point I'm trying to make. Like, he's not like, it's not like, oh man, now you have like Miguel Rojas. It's not like you have Austin Hedges coming in to hit, No offense to Austin Hedges. Great defensive catcher. Can't hit at all. Might as well stick Jeremy out there. Like, it's Miguel Rojas can still hit it, and he's in the Dodgers. He's coming off not a very good Miami team. No offense to Miami, coming to go play, with the Dodgers. Like, he'll kick it up a notch. Yeah, you have any other thoughts? You want to move on to the Rockies and kind of their outlook?
Let's move on to the Rockies here. We were talking a little bit about this before the show. Mike Moustakas was signed.
As a minor league deal.
I know it's important, but I thought Mike Moustakas retired like 2 years ago.
He was on the Reds, so might as well have. no, I mean, it's just looking at this team, I have to let out a sigh.
You said they were going to continue. You said they were
They're
trying to contend.
contend.
They're not.
They are trying to contend. Now, here's what I do like. Before they signed Moustakis, there was a rumor. There was a thing. I don't know how familiar you are with the Rockies at all. I just on a 1 to 10, just so I know.
1 to 10? I'll give you like a 3.
How much to explain? A 3. Do you know Ryan McMahon?
I do know Ryan McMahon.
Gold Glover, third baseman, got a pretty big contract extension, kind of locked them up.
Yes.
They are moving him to second base.
Why?
Because there was, Rule 5 draft. Familiar with that. Right? Familiar with the Rule 5 draft?
Mm-hmm.
So, Cleveland Guardians were trying to clear up roster space. A 40-man roster spot. And they had former top prospect, Nolan Jones. And they just, you know what? We don't have time for Nolan Jones to kind of figure it out. We like some of our other options. That's just their internal estimation. Traded him away to the Rockies. Nolan Jones, decent hit tool, solid third baseman, big power. They are now going to have Nolan Jones, was the rumor, as their everyday third baseman. Which, when you don't really have a lot of, cards in your hand, you might as well kind of maximize your odds,
Right.
And I think I really love that move. I was like, man, the Rockies, they're actually doing it together. And then I see this Mike Moustakas thing. And it would just be so Rockies for Mike Moustakas to be the opening day third baseman. And I'm genuinely terrified.
Can he even play third base still?
He can't play second base. That's where Dude, can I go on a tangent real quick?
Yes, dude.
Okay, I don't know how sidetracks we're allowed to get here. Okay.
It doesn't matter. It's a show. Go.
So, I don't know. It was 2021, I believe. So 2020, after the 2019 season, Mike Moustakas, Milwaukee Brewer, right? Left, signed this massive deal with the Reds. And then the thing was that, they have Eugenio Suarez at third base.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, well, Hino just had, a great, one of the best offensive third baseman seasons in a while. Had a ton of home runs. It was great. We don't really move him off his position. Let's try Moustakas at second. You don't really need to be a great defensive second baseman. We'll figure it out. I think they had, it's not Iglesias. I'm blanking on the name. I think he was
Jonathan India?
No, it wasn't Jonathan India. But then Jonathan India emerged. And it's like, we can't play Moustakas at second now. Jonathan India is coming up. Jonathan India is a really good prospect. I guess we'll move him back to third. But now we don't know what to do with Hino. Shortstop. And so they're just playing. It's just, it doesn't make sense. They don't. You gotta think. And they weren't thinking. And that experiment failed tremendously, and then that's part of the reason why Suarez got shipped off to Seattle. And they're just tearing down everything. But that's besides the point. I think Moustakas can be good still. He's was great with the Brewers. And I think, going to the Rockies, it could work out. Rockies are not contenders. I think their rotation is you can talk yourself into it.
It's not. It's just a bad team, Haden. It's not a good team.
The Rockies starters need to go 5 innings. And then the Rockies need to get a bullpen, right? They need a 2015 Royals bullpen. And then it's just a small ball. And I'm telling you, this team will win 85 games.
Bro, you want them to play small ball in Colorado?
Yes. I think it would be hilarious. Anyways, you already got Daniel Bard. Daniel Bard's solidified closer, really good at baseball. You got Dinelson Lamet. Okay,
Lamet? Okay.
he could be healthy. He could be, have him in the, have him as a reliever. Okay, maybe that stuff. It's up another tick. I'm starting to see it, Jeremy. Brad
No, you're not.
Hand. Brad Hand comes back. Brad Hand resurgence season. All right.
Brad Hand is not going to have a resurgent season, especially in Colorado.
Hey, they just signed Pierce Johnson, from the Padres. He was really good with them. I can see it, Jeremy. And then I scroll up on the Fangraphs projected lineup, and then I look at their lineup, and then I just lose all hope. Ezekiel Tovar is really good at baseball. He's making his. He already made his debut. Never mind. He had a cup of coffee last year. Top prospect. Very good. Ezekiel Tovar. Love that guy. Keep killing it. Charlie Blackmon. Very old. Probably should be the DH, but he's not, according to Fangraphs. Chris Bryant. I hope he's healthy because Chris Bryant's good at baseball, but he was just really hurt last year. Answer.
Why don't they move him to third base? I know he used to play third base, and they put him in the outfield for no reason. Why doesn't he move back to third base?
He's not very good. Not very good there.
No?
No, he's
I
very
remember him being pretty okay on the Cubs at third base.
He was like passable. He's passable at third.
It's much easier to find a left fielder than it is to find a third baseman at this
True.
point.
They should just trade for Jake Fraley from the Reds. That's honestly what they need to do. I'm telling you, man, Jake Fraley, have him on the small ball, Rockies,
Colorado Rockies,
where he's gonna walk and hit nukes. That's all he does. Is just walk and hit nukes. He cut down on his strikeouts. Like, he plays solid defense out in left field. I mean, I'm telling you, Jeremy, I'm gonna talk you into this Rockies team.
You are not going to be able to
talk you into this Rockies team.
You can talk me into a lot of things in baseball, but this Rockies team is not one of them.
Okay. I mean, you want me to go through this rotation with you?
You go for it, man. You can't.
Oh wait, never mind. Never mind. They're trying to start Jose Urena. Is
you
listen.
can't talk me into this Rockies team, Haden.
Listen, you have Randall Grichuk.
Oh wow, him. Yeah, that's pretty good.
He's coming back soon.
Mm-hmm.
Brendan Rodgers, he'll be back. It's just a dislocated soldier.
Yeah?
It's
Right, he'll be back.
This team,
Just
it's
like
it's gonna be a second half team. Like the Nats, where they're like in 2019 when they were like the best team since like May 24th or whatever. That's gonna be the Rockies. I'm telling you.
Right. Who's gonna lead the charge on that team?
Who's gonna lead the charge? Ezekiel Tovar. I just told you.
Tovar. All right.
Nolan Jones resurgence season. Brendan Rodgers. Finally breaks out. I mean, you're talking about a guy who he's 26.
How many games are they gonna win?
They're gonna win precisely 85.
I will go way under that number for you.
You're gonna go under. You're gonna take the under on that.
I'm gonna take way under.
You're gonna take the way under. That's okay. I think that's a really stacked division. I think it's gonna be really exciting to watch that division.
Right, they
especially because the Rockies are trying to win when they shouldn't.
They do that all the time, though, and this is where it gets them.
I mean, the Giants signed like a bunch of players this offseason. Like, all these teams are trying.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense. You know what they should do? They should blow it up.
Who?
The Giants and the Rockies.
What is there to blow up with the Giants, man? They got nobody.
They got Joe Ross.
Joe Ross is still recovering, Jeremy.
Joe Ross Cy Young season.
That's next year. I mean, I don't know. I think you can talk yourself into pretty much every team in the NL West.
I could talk myself into the Giants. I can't talk myself into the Rockies. It's not going to happen.
Okay, that's fair. You win this time, Jeremy. You win this time. I tried. I honestly don't have faith in the Rockies. I think they're gonna win 73 games.
That sounds a lot more accurate to me.
Yeah. I forgot what else we said we wanted to talk about today.
I don't know. I think we covered a lot of things.
I mean, we did. We pretty much filled the 30-minute slot. I feel like we have more we're gonna talk about. I'm
Yeah,
blanking on it.
we'll talk about it later though.
I can't remember what it was, Jeremy. I genuinely
Right, it
can't.
doesn't
It's really
matter.
bothering me. Jurickson Profar is still not signed.
Really?
Yeah. Like, he's
That's
like
odd.
him on the Rockies, Jeremy. There we go. We found it. We brought it back full circle. Him on the Rockies. Like that. You're telling me if they didn't add Jurickson Profar, like,
Look, if they added Jurickson Profar, I think they could win 75 games.
they could win 75 games. That's actually exactly how many more games they would win. Brendan Rodgers, he gets that, recovers, the recovery is going well storyline where, he, is ready 2 weeks earlier. Like,
Right,
it's
he's
just,
in the best shape of his life.
best shape of his life. I swear we had another thing we were going to talk about. It's
But
really
you know what,
bothered me.
Hayden? It doesn't matter because it probably wasn't all that important.
It wasn't. Oh, I remember what it is. We're going to get really nerdy real quick.
Oh, yes, I do remember it. It was important. I'm sorry for shutting you down.
It's all good. So, for those of you who haven't heard, anyone who loves defensive statistics, like me, is going to love this. There is now a blocked balls above average on Baseball Savant.
For catchers.
For catchers. And it's just really interesting. And they're adding another stat. I don't know what it is. That's just when they announced it, they were like, "Oh, we have another one in the works. You keep your eyes out."
How many new stats do they do a season, Hayden?
Well, last year or the last one they added, that was really cool. Like, because defensive statistics don't really exist. They don't make sense. Like, no offense. Like, errors, pardon my language, I'm going to say bad words real quick. Like, a lot of our kind of traditional defensive statistics are all just bullshit. And a lot of just defensive statistics in general are. And I think when you're talking about, like, using, like, kind of this technology, like with StatCast and stuff, it's still kind of bullshit, but it's much, like, you can actually kind of quantify it a little bit better and explain it. Like, I can go to, somebody who doesn't know anything about baseball, and I can explain how they get this data and they calculate all this, right? How defensive runs saved. How do you explain that to somebody? You can't. You can. But it's a little bit easier to explain. The catcher blocking. Last one was arm strength for just defenders, arm. It's cool. Anyways, we're gonna have. 1 second. Sorry, They also have data since the start of 2020. So you have a bunch of people. So, Jacob Stallings, we have, when he won that Gold Glove last season, or not last season, in 2021, we now have, we already knew he was, like, a pretty solid framer. Also was leading the league in, catcher blocking that year. The guy who, speaking of him, he's the blocks above average leader since 2020. JT Realmuto's right behind him. Jose Trevino, Sean Murphy, Tucker Barnhart, Danny Jensen, Austin Hedges, Jan Gomes. Adley Rutschman's there with only one season, and he's number 10.
Wow.
But, I think the thing I like about this is it kind of backs up what we already know. Like, when you scroll all the way back to the bottom, you see, Jeremy, I'm going to guess who is 100 of, who is the worst catcher overall in the big leagues when it comes to blocking balls. I want to take a wild guess.
Salvador Perez.
No, he's actually really good.
Is he?
Yeah, no, he had a good year last year. He is at. Let me find him.
I was trying to think of the national.
He just
guy
can't
that the
frame.
Nationals.
He can't frame.
I was trying to think of the guy that the Nationals had up for like 3 games that sucked. the most I've ever seen a catcher be bad. And I couldn't think
You
of
gotta
his
think
name.
playing time though. You gotta factor in playing time, Jeremy.
I don't know, man.
It's Pedro
Gary
Severino.
Sanchez.
Pedro Severino.
Okay.
Gary Sanchez is bottom 5 though.
Okay.
Him, Jorge Alfaro, Mike Zunino, and MJ Melendez are 5 worst catchers, according to this new statistic. Hate to see that with Melendez, but he's young and wasn't really catching a whole lot last year. You know, but it's I love when we have these new stats. It's so cool and interesting, and I just love baseball. And there's Jeremy. They have like little graphics with it too. Oh, I'm gonna go crazy with this.
Yeah, you are.
I'm gonna.
This is gonna be your thing for the next 100 days.
This is gonna be my next thing for like a week, and then I'm gonna forget about it. But yeah, man, baseball's great. Baseball's almost back. World Baseball Classic's about to start. So
Yeah,
that
it
interests
started
you.
today. I think a
Starts-
game already started.
Yeah. So go watch that. If not, spring training is going on. There's amazing prospects who are making their debuts. I don't know if you saw Pete Crow Armstrong, who's like the best defensive center fielder. If he was in the center field today, just can't hit major league pitching yet. Made this amazing catch. Love that. It's great. It's just I love baseball. I'm so excited for the season to be back. I can't wait to be back here next week, ish.
Lied to
Talking.
you. The first game starts at 11 p.m.
I don't know if I'll watch that one.
It's Cuba versus the Netherlands.
Yeah, I'm not watching that. Sorry. I got a midterm tomorrow. But baseball's back. Let's be happy. Woo!
Woo!
Anyways, Jeremy, you want to go ahead and wrap up with me?
Thank you so much to everyone for tuning in to episode 4 of Rounding Third on the Triple Threat YouTube channel. I am your co-host, Jeremy Lapidus, joined as always by
Haden Raymer.